So today we're going to speak about our project, StartUP, and I will give you a brief presentation and a short overview of the project. So StartUP was EU funded under the Lifelong Learning Program, which was the old budget of the European Union. And it was funded under the Key Action 3 ICT. It started in January 2013, and we are halfway because it will finish on the end of August 2015. The consortium of StartUP is made up of 7 partners, which hail from Italy, UK, Spain, and Malta. And it is coordinated by the Italian partner, which is Sophia in Action. On the screen you can see the logos of all the organizations. And these are the partners who are taking part in the StartUP project. As I said, the coordinators are Sophia, they come from Italy. We have Best Institute from Austria, the University of Madrid in Spain, Foundation for Women Entrepreneurs from Malta, and the Confederation of Education and Training Centers from Spain, and also Innova from UK and Profesia from Italy. So these partners were all behind the StartUP project. The aims of the StartUP project: it aims at developing and analyzing a new approach based on open educational resources to support upcoming entrepreneurs. We will speak about the open educational resources. In fact, that was the concept behind the seminar, the webinar today. And the idea is to give entrepreneurial competences to both trainers and trainees. So, as I said, these are our objectives. We are aiming at becoming a smart OER gateway to entrepreneurship in Europe. This project was launched in January 2013, and it's aimed at trainers, educators, students, self-learners, any age, any background, and all those people who have an interest in enterprise and wish to develop their skills using an open educational resource. The general objective of StartUP is to enhance the professional skills of learners, both school, secondary school, and university teachers, students, trainers, trainees, and both informal and non-formal learners by using this open, flexible, and innovative tool. And this system is a tailored learning path with specific focus on the development, extension, and expansion of entrepreneurial skills. The specific objectives of the system is to set up an innovative method of evaluating individual users, the learner in all the entrepreneurial sector, to provide an effective OER corresponding to individual learning needs, and to set up a peer review and sharing community to ensure the quality of individual learning paths. The project is split into different phases. The first phase, which has already been done, was the research phase. In fact, it was aimed at analyzing the training needs in the field of entrepreneurship. As an outcome of this phase, this research phase, we have been able to produce the Entrepreneurial Competences Catalog. This catalog groups competences area into 4 different areas, sub-areas, and these are the following: business skills, management skills, communication skills, and self-development skills. For each competence area, a description of the competence in the entrepreneurial context and related learning outcomes are provided. Now, I am going to talk about the training part, which was a very important part of this project. Trying to. The system is composed by a virtual expert that simulates the behavior of a real expert. In fact, everything is done online. And it questions the user to collect data and carry out multidimensional analysis on the user's training needs. The virtual expert will be able to process in a flexible and intelligent way user data such as user's profile, the user's current competences, both formal, informal, and non-formal, the user's learning styles, and other data defined by the researchers in the design phase. At the end of the training needs process, the virtual expert will summarize the user's training need in the entrepreneurship field, and it recommends an optimal training path, obviously made by the OERs, to be pursued to achieve professional goals and new competences, with an estimate of the time for their achievement. So the system is divided into two main areas, and these components are the following: the expert system, the authoring system, and the rating system. The expert system is the virtual expert, which I've already talked about. The virtual expert aims at simulating a real expert in order to conduct in a flexible and smart way a multi-dimensional analysis on the user's training needs, obviously taking into consideration and account the data that the person has already input in the system, such as interests, age, educational background, prior knowledge, and other personal elements. The virtual expert embedded in the StartUP system offers an online environment to deliver to the user a personalized OER training path that fits as closely as possible to the user's training needs. And a rating system will be set up to allow the user community to evaluate the OERs in terms of quality and relevance. In fact, each participant in the system can, from time to time, reassess themselves according to the training paths that they have taken. The second one is the authoring system, which will allow all users to take an active part in the process of development and localization of the OERs. And the third component is the rating system, which is the online community, which will stimulate discussions among the target group and promote collaboration and peer-to-peer learning. The community will be set up also to collect feedback on the quality of the training paths by means of a rating system. I think Edmondo will be explaining this in more detail. As we want to target our participants, we are quite visible on the social media, as we have a very big catchment area. And I'm going to start by showing you the website. The website address is www.startupproject.eu, where you can find information on the project, information about the partners, and obviously the link to the OER. The website is also in different languages. It's in English, German, and Italian. To go and log in the website and have a look at what we are doing there. Apart from the website, we also have a Facebook page dedicated to the StartUP project. We regularly put up notices and snippets and other info.
Mary Rose, sorry, but the line has gone. Maybe you inadvertently click on the mute microphone. Can you start a bit?
Mary Rose, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah,
okay, yes.
we lost you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So we are also visible on the Twitter, and we have the address there on the presentation. But we will be circulating this presentation, so you will be based from them. We also have a YouTube video. It's so I suggest that interested persons would go and have a look at this YouTube, and it will, in a nutshell, tell you what the StartUP project is all about. So actually, now we are in. For authors who would be interested to put material on the system, which has started this month. In November and December, we aim at having 140 users to do a restricted community test on the system. We will collect feedback from that test, and we will arrange what needs to be arranged. And then during the month of January 2015, we aim to have over 500 euro this system. So with the feedback we get from the restricted community test, we will then test again on a bigger number of users. We will again get feedback from the second testing, and we will officially then launch the system to the general public. The learning path integration is ongoing for the duration of the whole project. And I would like to say that our next online meeting will be an international focus group at 3 o'clock. The duration will be for 60 minutes. We are going to use the same tool as we're using today, the GoToMeeting. And on the agenda there is, again, there will be me who will be giving a brief overview of the project and maybe any other things that we had done by then. And then we will have a moderated discussion by our Austrian partner, Karen Kronika. And we will have also Guido Spadotto, who will be the technical moderator of the international focus group. So I suggest those of you who are present today, to sort of book your seat for the 5th of November. Email address. So if any of you have any queries, you can send us an email, or you can contact the different partners according from which country you come from. And I think that is all from my part. And now Edmondo will be able to give us more details on the OER system. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, just bear with me while
Sorry. Before before switching to Edmundo, I would like to stress the fact that all material will be made available. So if you have difficulties in hearing, do not worry, because the informations will be accessible after the webinar. And that's all.
Okay, I'll just switch to Edmundo.
Yeah.
Okay, so Edmundo, you should have control now, and you can share your screen.
Yes, now I am doing now. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see it, Edmundo.
Yes, okay. Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you for your attendance. My mission in this webinar is try to give a global overview about open education concept and OER, because, as you know, this project is based on OER. At the beginning, I would like to make some remarks about the expectation of education in higher education, in that case, in lifelong learning. The projections, one of the figures that we are using in trying to explain which are the demands of education in the future is the figures provided by the UNESCO Institute. That is very surprising that we will need to provide education to 100 million of students in the next 10 years. That means that we will have to create something like 4 major universities in the future, every week for the next years. This is not only for higher education or lifelong learning, because in this century we realize that entrepreneurship is the target of our project. Entrepreneurship is one of the main skills that is supposed to provide education for this century. If we access to European reports about the demand of entrepreneurship, we can check that there is increasing demand of this kind of education, but at the same time we have obstacles hidden to provide this kind of education. The basic obstacle is the shortage of human resources and funding this type of education. On the other hand, we have the problems to focus what kind of training we have to provide to entrepreneurship. Okay, at the end, we can make a diagnosis of the situation, because the students have problems in order to access to the education. First one could be say that that they are using materials that they can afford. On the other hand, we have the students have materials that they don't know that they exist, and from materials that don't fit to their profiles. If we review quickly the current state of the market, of the educational resources market, we distinguish between the main actors that participate in this market. In the old traditional model, the only actor that can be satisfied would be the publisher. The professor is not very happy, but the problem is about the students. Why? Because the students don't have choice. They are required to purchase the books of other resources, and they have limited feedback. Professor, in the another sense, doesn't have the option to customize material to their teaching. But the control of this model is really under the publisher, because they are the actor that selects what to publish, when to update, and what to include or exclude. So, in order to face to this challenge, in order to cover this expectation of demand of education, the only alternative that we have is the open education, that starts with this first idea. Education is sharing, but this is assumed by all the teachers in the past. But we need to develop more resources and the use of these resources in order to share these resources at a larger scale. So if we resume the educational sharing as the possibility or the ability to copy and distribute and adapting or editing our materials, we have now the possibility, thanks to internet technology, to make all these tags free. For instance, for this presentation, I have access to the presentations of the best, in my opinion, the best keynote in this area. But I had the possibility to connect this basic presentation with my prior experience or relating to this project, to the context of this project. This one of the use of the open education. So now we have the possibility to have free copy, distribute, and edit. So we can educate as never before. What is open education? So open education is a set of resources, tools, and other materials that configures a framework of open sharing. Open education combines the tradition of knowledge sharing and creation with the technology of this century. So the second point of my presentation is try to focus more on what is OER. I showed you in this slide the two main, in my view, the two main definitions of open educational resources. Well, the first one is the definition of UNESCO, and the other one of Hewlett Foundation as the main company that is supporting with funds the research in OER. So you can see that they are very similar because both definitions are referring to teaching, learning, or research materials. These materials should be in the public domain, or instead of that, released with an intellectual property license that allows for free use, adaptation, and distributions. That is, to repurpose by others. The 5 features of OER that more or less is used in the community, in the open movement community, are defined by the 5 R's: to retain, to reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute, trying to explain all the features that has to contain in an OER. Retain, to make and own copies, reuse in a wide range of ways, revise, adapt, modify, and improve, remix, combine 2 or more, or redistribute, share with others. Which is the way to do that? Through, if our resource is not in the domain, in the public domain, the choice that we have is to use the Creative Commons licenses, open licenses in general. The creators have to choose a set of conditions that they wish to apply to their work. The attribution is the first one that is required to any material that that we want to associate the Creative Commons license, the attributions. Okay, that you are giving permission to enjoy of these features to others, to copy, distribute, display, and perform. If you are giving credit the way that you request, share alike, you allow others to distribute derivative works only under a license identical to the license that covers your work, no commercial or no derivative works. There are six kind of license, of open license, order to more restrictive or more free. So if you see in this on the screen, the last ones, the 2 last ones, are not considered OER because they are declared as not derivative works. That is, other users can't modify, reuse, adapt, etc. And the last point of my presentation is to talk about practices around OER. We have a lot of OER, it's clear, because in the last 10 years, many institutions, authors has been dedicated to produce OER, but the key question of the OER is that we have the building blocks for innovation. So OER is not just content, it's also a process of engages with the materials and with others. This process involves to share materials, to use and adapting other materials, but the most interesting thing is that we can produce innovation, as I say. So we had the opportunity with all these blocks of OER, we had the opportunity to innovate new ways of teaching and learning that have the characteristics of to be more collaborative and participatory. So this is our baseline in our project. So one way to exploit these features of OER in our context, as Mary Rose presented before, is in this project, in the StartUP, is to provide training paths based on OER. So this is all the view that I wanted to explain. Thank you.
Thanks, Edmundo. Guido will...
Guido, who is the next presenter? Guido?
Thank you.
It's me.
Okay, Mikhail.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hand over the presentation to you now, Mikhail.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen?
No, it hasn't.
Not by the moment.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
People can
Yeah.
see your screen? Yes?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, fine. So, hello to everyone. My name is Mikhail, and I'm in charge of the design of the OER's platform, and I'm also coordinating the development of the platform. So, instead of showing you static screenshot of the platform in a PPT presentation, I prefer to share my screen and go through the platform and describe its main features. And moreover, guidelines will be provided to you with a detailed explanation of the different functionalities. And also, I would like to state that this platform is an ongoing process of improvement in terms of functionalities and usability. Above all, thanks to user feedback, so thanks to you. So please don't be shy, give us feedbacks and suggestions on how to improve it as better as possible. So let's enter the platform. You can enter the platform, of course, if you have already an account by inserting username and password. And if you don't have any account, you should self-register by clicking on create a new account and follow the self-enrollment procedure. Of course, I do not go through the self-enrollment procedure now, but it is very easy, and you can also follow the guidelines if you have any difficulty. Okay. So I enter the platform with an account. So I log in the home page. Okay, so this is the homepage of the platform. Yes, the platform is based on Moodle, and 4 languages are available, which are the 4 languages of the startup project: English, Spanish, Italian, and German. So the main features of the platform are, as Mary Rose said before, the virtual expert, which is conceived to self-evaluate your current entrepreneur skills. Here. Yes, here. Go to the virtual expert or here. So you can access it in English, Italian, German, or Spanish. And the virtual expert aimed at finding relevant OERs that help you to improve your communication, management, self-development, and business skills. Then another very important feature is the personalized training set made by OERs that match your training needs thanks to the answer you provided in the virtual expert query. And then we have also an authoring system called here Share Your OERs. And it's an authoring system for users who aim at increasing the OER offer of the startup system. So in this case, users are authors of new OERs. And then a forum to stimulate discussions among users and to promote collaborative and peer-to-peer learning. So I access the virtual expert, in this case, of course, in English, to show you how it works. Okay, the virtual expert presents two different forms. The first one where you can choose where you have to answer to some question like how old are you and so on. Of course, I've entered with an account where data have been already saved, but of course if you enter for the first time into the virtual expert, you should of course enter data like age, country, and highest accomplished educational level, then gender, target group, to which on the following categories do you belong, for example, professional. And then, which is very important, you should choose one of the 4 clusters of competence the startup project is dealing with. So, for example, I choose communication skills. Okay, then I save changes. Okay, and the system will provide me with a self-assessment questionnaire related to the cluster competency, in this case communication skill. So I should answer to this question or statement in a honest way, of course, because if not, the virtual expert will provide me with yes, I should answer in an honest way, because to match as close as possible my training needs in terms of level of difficulty of the OERs provided to me. So but I have no time to read all the questions, so I put randomly some numbers. So 1 is strongly disagree, 5 which is strongly agree. So of course, when you will answer to those questions, you have to go through them, thinking carefully and how to answer to those questions. Okay. Okay, then I save changes. Okay, and the result of the virtual expert query interrogation is, as you can see, a personalized training set made by OERs that match the answer you provided before. Okay. In particular, OERs are clustered in, I would say, boxes, which are uniquely identified by a triplet, which is the competence. The first competence listing, for example, here and in my interrogation. Then the level of the OERs. In this case, the level is basic. So these OER are addressed to a user who are basic, and the target group is professional. So it addresses professional users. And I go through the list of competence, nonverbal communication. You see, nonverbal communication. In this case, the level is an intermediate level, target, professional, and so on. So then I can open one of these OER. For example, I open the first one, communication skills, speaking and listening, just as an example. Okay, there is a very short description with an external resource, so I can click on the external resource to open the external OER, which is open in a new window of your browser. So you can easily go through it, and then when you finish to study it, you can close the window and coming back to the OER, and then using the breadcrumb, which is this navigation bar, you can go back to the list, the OER list. Okay, and moreover, some of the OER present also hashtags, Twitter hashtags, dealing with the same topics of the OERs and respective authors, Twitter users. I would say this is a way to discuss on the same topics, but from a different perspective, using social media like Twitter. Okay. Okay, I go back to the home page, just as an example. And if you are happy with your training set, you don't need to interrogate again the virtual expert, but you can go directly to your training set. In this case, is OERs in English. So if I click again on OERs in English, okay, I can benefit from my personalized training set without interrogate again the virtual expert. Otherwise, if you would like to update your training set with new OERs, for example, with a higher level of difficulty because you study your previous training set and you want to increase your knowledge in a particular cluster of competence, so you can go again into the virtual expert and answer differently to the questionnaire. Okay, in this case we can also choose another clusters of competence, for example self-development, save changes, okay, just a minute. Okay, as you can see, in this case, the statement or questions are different because we are dealing with another cluster of competence. So I insert some. I put in some answer just very quickly, just to show you what happened. Okay, then I save. Oops, okay, I've forgotten one. Okay, now save change. Okay, as you can see now, I have another personalized training path dealing with the self-development cluster of competence. So, for example, the emotion we have for the emotional intelligence at the basic level for professional, we have only one OER. For motivation, we have many more OERs, and all these OERs have been uploaded by partners who are expert in those topics. And moreover, a rating system will also be ready soon to let you to rate OERs, and so to improve the system thanks to your rating. Okay, this is concerning the virtual expert and the respective customized training set. So possibly the majority of the user will go through the virtual expert and use the personalized training set. But this platform has also an authoring system where user can contribute by producing their OERs and uploading them into the platform. I think that this tool is particularly useful to localize or translate OERs. Because why? Because most of the time the OERs are in English. So, for example, for instance, if we compare the training set in the same training set in English and in Spanish, so I go to the OERs in Español, which is the training set in Spanish. Okay, so as you can see, there are just a few OERs available compared to the ones available in the English training set. So so the authoring system is conceived to improve the contents, and especially to translate, to localize OERs that are mainly in English. And so please, for those who are bilingual, do this task, which is very useful for our audience. So how to use this share your OERs or training set? So I click on share your OERs or authoring system. I click on share your OERs here in the home page. And I access it in English, for instance, but if you would like to produce an OER in another language, you should access it in another language, and your OERs will be part of that language training set. So in this case, I access it in English. Okay, so first of all, a form appears. So I have to fill in this form with data or metadata of my new OER. Why metadata? Because you need, of course, to describe your new OER in order to classify your OER and put it in the right training sets. That's why you need to classify it. So, for example, I create a new OER, so with a stupid name, for example, a foolish OER. Now very quick description of my OER. in the abstract. Then I should fill in mandatory, at least the mandatory field, for example, the license, public domain, for example, encoding format, for example, text, sorry. You should insert at least one target group, because possibly an OER can be addressed more than one target group. For example, school students and university students. Then I have to choose the competence area or the cluster of competence. Communication skill, management skills, self-development. For example, I choose communication skills. Then in communication skills, I have to choose which competence my OER is dealing with. I can choose also more than one competence. In this case, I choose nonverbal communication, for example, and I select the level to which this OER is taught. For example, nonverbal communication in this case is this OER taught with communication skill at an intermediate level, for example, intermediate. Okay, then I save changes because I finished to describe my new OER. Okay, then I have a content editor. I have a page with a content editor when I can write my OER, or I can where I can insert the formatted text, images, tables, or link to external resources. For example, OER in external repositories, or embedded medias like, for example, YouTube videos. And yes, okay, I can insert some text in this page, and then I can use the editor to link to external resource or to add images and so on. Okay, then I click on Save and Display to check my new OER, if my new OER satisfy my requirements. Okay. Okay, if yes, I can go back to the training set in English, because from there I can edit my OERs. So in StartUP metadata, I can edit the OERs, only of course the OERs that I am the producer. So if you, in this case, with this account, many OERs have been produced. So I can check, for example, the OER that I've just produced, that I've just made. So I click on it, and I can edit, and I can edit it if it is the case. For example, changing the title, or changing the description, or the license, and so on, or maybe changing the target group and so on. Of course, if I click on Save Changes, I can also edit the content of this OER using the content editor. Okay, possibly, for example, adding on YouTube videos and so on. So all these kind of things are well explained in the guidelines that we will provide you sooner. Okay. Then I come back to my training set, because I can also delete my OERs. So I can delete, of course, only the OERs that I'm the producer. So in this case, it is better to delete this new OER because it's just an example. So I click on the OER I've just made. I go to OER removal in the form here, OER removal. Then I click on delete this OER. Okay, so I click on StartUP metadata, and as you can see, the OER that I've made before doesn't exist anymore in the system. So I deleted it forever. Okay. Moreover, there is another way to contribute to the OER offer, and it is by using the recommender. What is the recommender? Is a system that suggests you OERs that are already available in the web. So instead of developing an OER from scratch using the authoring system, you can go through the recommender and get an OER, an already done OER from another authors in an external website. For example, here are the list of the competence the startup project is dealing with. For example, I click on business planning, the first competence. So the recommender suggests me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 OERs from external repository. Let me click on one of them. Okay. So as you can see, compared to the authoring system, some of the fields are already filled in with metadata, with data. For example, the title, the abstract, the provider, which is Twitter, and so on. If this external OER satisfy me, I can click on the OER link just to check this OER. Okay. If this OER satisfy me, I can remix it or modify it in some way. For example, I can change the title. If I need to change the description as well, I can do it. Then I can select the language. Of course, if you would like to translate it or localize it, you should insert a language other than English in this case, for example, Italian. And you should select the license, the encoding format, choose a target group, for example, a university or more target group if you like. And this OER is dealing with business skills, as you can see, business planning. So you can select the level. The OER is the level of difficulty of this OER. So, for example, advanced. And save changes. Okay. As you can see, some of the contents is already filling in the content editor. So you can, for example, if you would like to localize the platform, translate all the OER or part of it. and change or add whatever you want to this OER, and then save it. Okay, this is in Italian, so it is described in Italian. Okay. And I can find this new OER, which is built on top of an external OER, which the recommenders recommended me. I can find it in the list of the OER being made by me, so I can then edit and delete it if I want. As I've done before when I show you the virtual expert. So basically, these are the main tools of this platform. So hope you can enjoy it, and thank you to listen to me.
Okay, Michael, thank you. There is a question from Nikolaus. It is, if I change my learning set, will the first set be saved somewhere?
No. When you change your learning set, no, your set isn't saved anymore. No. Because there are many possible training sets depending on the answer you provided to the virtual expert. So it is very impractical to save all your training sets, because your personalized training set is quite different depending on the answer you provided in the virtual experts. So there are many different possibilities. Many different training sets are possible. Is there any quality control? Quality control, do you mean a sort of rating system, Maximilian? Regarding change made in DOR, yes. In fact, a rating system will be ready soon, and the user can rate DORs listed in the training sets. So our communities of user will rate and state if an OER is of quality or not. And depending of this, DORs will be downgraded by the community, and so I would say that the quality control is a really ongoing process of this system.
Okay, so please don't be shy with questions, and I want to state once again that we are going to make all these materials available online.
Yeah, especially the guidelines, Guido, which is much more detailed than my presentation.
Yes, this webinar was just to give you a all-around view of the system and the concepts behind it. And if you are interested, we will provide you links to the material. Okay, so we are just around the clock, 1 hour of webinar. If you don't have any further question, I would propose to end the webinar here. Feedback on it. We are every